You've talked just before how now when you're doing your hiring and the types of people you bring on to execute on this model, when you're looking to hire salespeople, there's certain elements you have to look for so that people are actually compatible. Because
Mm.
I think there's a couple different types of people out there. Some are really good at sales. Some are really good at sales, but maybe don't have the same values aligned. And then there's some people that haven't learned the skills of selling.
Mm.
How do you go and find the kinds of people you need so that they can work with people with that same level of heart, care, and energy?
Mm. Wonderful question around that, because it's taken time. It started with some real simple things, which was who resonates with this message, and can we ask them enough questions and get from them, um, you know, their heart in wanting to do this work in the way that we describe. We do that, and I'd say over the years, the first people who came through, they all resonated from a place that they came from sales backgrounds, selling stuff that they didn't like, they didn't believe in, wasn't actually making a difference on the planet, and they were having to push hard, hit targets, and make kind of hard push and make the money that they needed each month to hit their targets and stay in their job, and that's exhausting. That will burn out the best of the best. And in fact, I don't know any great salespeople who stay in those kind of roles for long. They usually eventually go, yeah, this is not what I want to do with my life. So I'm looking for people who have kind of gone through that process, got to that burnout, got to that place of realization that this is not what I love doing, and invite those people into having a more purposeful conversation with humans who really are looking and seeking ways to fulfill their greatest potential. And that's a certain kind of person who's traveled that road. It's this journey of, whatever you want to call that, the hero's journey. We've gone through the valley of the night, and we've come through the other side and gone, that's not where we want to play. We see the light. It's like, okay, that's what I want to do. And we generally show up in front of those people, and they generally show up in front of us. So that's number one, a big value. Number two value is actually having somebody who's willing to put themselves in a position of service. And that is, for me, like such a huge part of value that I'm looking for. Who is willing to demonstrate to me how they've put themselves in a place of service in the past. And I will ask that question in the interview. So, so service is high in your values. Tell me about some examples of where you've been in service to other humans to help them see their greatest potential, whatever. And we listen for that, and we're truly looking to see, is this person a fit? Is this person somebody who's willing to go the distance? Because sometimes you're going to sit with somebody who's in total breakdown because they're at stage 4 cancer, and we're having this conversation about, are you really up for shifting what needs to shift inside your mind, inside the stress that you're creating inside your body, and see a different path? Because there's a reason why they're sitting there. There's a reason why they're having this conversation. There's a reason why they showed up at this event. And our job is to help them see a new possibility, a new future, a new way of being, living, and becoming who they truly want to, or the experience they truly want to have in their life. And those conversations you can't be selling. You've got to be present in service to that human. And sometimes you just got to hold them. And we hold space for somebody to be in a breakdown conversation in sales. Like, there's going to be a lot of people who are listening to this and they're in sales, and they're going to go, yeah, that sounds interesting, John. That's not the way I've been taught to sell. Well, that's okay if you're not selling something that truly shifts somebody's reality and experience of life. Yeah.
Yeah. John, it's the only thing that's saddened me right now is I do know that you're actually driving your wife over to the airport very shortly, and I do want to respect your time, and I did make a promise on his time, but I would say this has been a wonderful conversation. I know that there's more conversations for us to have. What I would love to make sure that I get to answer as a question is the one question I ask all my guests, which is, what does selling with love mean to you?
It links to this. It links to this being in service, leaving people in a better place. But maybe even deeper, it's can we be so present to another human being that in that presence you create a transformational shift in what they're experiencing. Most people in the world never get really seen, really heard, really held. That's selling from the heart. Being able to be so freaking present and holding somebody through the fire for them to express what truly needs to be expressed, and for you to hear them, for you to be so present to see them. That in its own creates a moment where people realize they're valuable. They are actually seen, heard. There's something else. There's love available to them. That's all in there.
Thank you so much for listening to the Selling with Love podcast. We have some previous episodes you can tune into right here. And if you prefer the short form content where you get to the point in under 10 minutes, we do have a ton of clips from our best episodes that are being shared on this channel as well. So pick which one supports you the most. And of course, thank you for liking, subscribing, and of course, selling with love.